Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Monday, the 1st of August 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Let's jump into it. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished up 0.7% today to close at 6,993 points. That's 5 straight positive sessions. Pretty good. There were some decent performers today. Woodside Energy jumped nearly 3%. CSL, Telstra and QBE were up around 2%. Woolworths was a strong performer, up 1.6%, while BHP, Transurban and Santos all rose more than 1%. The banks were mixed. Macquarie Group and ANZ both fell around 1%. Battery metal miners Alchem and Lynas Rare Earths and agribusiness Elders were the best of the top 200 today, all up more than 4%. A strong performer was Deterra Royalties, which is a company that derives income from 3 different royalty streams, 1 from BHP and 2 from mineral sands operations. Its share price ended the day up 3.2%. United Malt Group tumbled 17%, more of that in a moment. Megaport fell 14%, while PointsBet dropped 13%. Story number 2, Parliament was back in session and there was plenty going on. A couple of faces we haven't seen so far this session. Former Prime Minister Scott Morrison and former Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce were back in the House for the first time since May. It was a spirited day all round with aged care, energy and power prices, COVID-19, foot and mouth disease and a constitutionally enshrined Indigenous voice all getting a run. Treasurer Jim Chalmers was asked whether the government might apply a windfall tax to the very profitable energy companies like occurred in the UK. He said that wasn't the government's intention. Both Anthony Albanese and opposition leader Peter Dutton paid tribute to Indigenous musician Archie Roach following his death over the weekend, aged 66. And the latest news poll published by The Australian shows that 61% of respondents approve of Mr Albanese's performance in his first 2 months. That is the highest of any incoming leader since Newspoll began in 2015. Story number 3, in economic news, the manufacturing sector in Australia slowed last month. The Australian Industry Group Australian Performance of Manufacturing Index declined by 1.5 points to 52.5 points. Now, anything above 50 indicates an expansion, but the rate of expansion has fallen. Input prices declined for the first time since February this year, but they do remain at very high levels, while employment fell, reflecting labour shortage pressures on manufacturing businesses. Story number 4, United Malt, the 4th largest global supplier of malt to the beer and whiskey industry, today announced a profit downgrade, sending its share price off nearly 17%. It's been hit with a poor barley crop in North America, meaning it had to import barley to top up volumes, and higher costs also hurt the bottom line, and that was due to inflation. United Malt is negotiating price increases with large beer producers in North America. CEO Mark Palmquist said better times are ahead, and the current barley crop looked promising. United Malt used to be part of GrainCorp, but was spun off at the beginning of the pandemic and really has struggled ever since. And story number 5. Last month, China attacked the AUKUS agreement between Australia, the US and the United Kingdom, saying it could create another nuclear power. But today, the trio hit back. Ahead of a major United Nations conference on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons in New York, the 3 AUKUS partners released a working paper reaffirming a commitment not to breach international law through the transfer of radioactive material and to establish a verification process for the atomic watchdog. The report said it would be impossible for Australia to convert uranium fueling the planned fleet of submarines into weapons. Under the AUKUS deal, Australia will acquire up to 8 nuclear-powered subs. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 1st of August 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.